Hey, this is Toby Yonis with the Gypsy's Kiss, and today Shelley and I are at the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Good.
And I've asked one of the folks that work here if they could spend a couple of minutes just talking about the museum. So first of all, tell me what your name is.
I am Jennifer Hayden, and I'm the Director of PR and Marketing at the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History.
Isn't there a famous observatory named Hayden?
Oh, there might be. It's my married name, so I'm not sure, but
right.
that I could look into that.
No. Okay. So I suppose the first question that we'd like to ask is, why is this museum here?
Oh gosh, so our museum, the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History, we tell the story of the atomic age, from early uses such as the Manhattan Project in the Cold War to today's peaceful uses of nuclear technology, nuclear energy, nuclear medicine. And where it all really began was Los Alamos, the Manhattan Project, with the creation of the very first atomic weapon. And since that is New Mexico, here in Albuquerque, it all really came together. We have so many artifacts. A lot of people think, well, you must have bombs, and we do. We have the largest collection of declassified nuclear weapons in the world. Currently, only a fifth of them are on display, though, because there are so many. But we also really just look at the whole gamut of nuclear, from science, technology, engineering, mathematics, every aspect of it, to be America's resource for nuclear history and science.
Now, I know the museum hasn't always been at this location.
We have not.
Where did it start, and how did it get to this point?
So we were established in 1969 on Kirkland Air Force Base. So we were established by DOE to be a museum, a representation of nuclear weapons at the very beginning. It evolved over time, and then we became the National Atomic Museum. When 9/11 happened, we had to close our doors on the base forever. So due to heightened security measures, we closed our doors and we had to relocate temporarily to Old Town here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We were there for approximately 7 years raising money. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We raised the funds that we needed to relocate to our permanent location here now, which is on Eubank, just south of Central in Albuquerque. And we have been at this location for 9 years. It'll actually be 10 years in April of 2019. But next year in 2019, we're celebrating 50 years of service to the nation as the resource for nuclear science and history.
So as we went through our tour, we saw a broad variety of exhibits from early nuclear science to weaponry to medicine. Tell our viewers, what kind of things can they expect to see when they visit the museum?
Oh, absolutely. When you come into the museum, of course, you're greeted with this huge periodic table of elements that's in our very large lobby area. So that really kind of sets the tone that this is science. When you walk through, it very much starts in World War II, the Manhattan Project. You can see casings of Fat Man and Little Boy, exhibits of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then moving into the Cold War area. So there are a lot of missiles and things there. Our outdoor exhibit area is Heritage Park. So that's our 9-acre outdoor exhibit area. We have a lot of airplanes, our B-29 Super Fortress, our B-52 Stratofortress. We even have a nuclear submarine sail in Heritage Park. And newer to our collection is our 100-foot Trinity Tower in Heritage Park. It's been here about a year. It is the only replica of the Trinity Tower, which held the very first atomic weapon that was tested in Trinity, White Sands, New Mexico in 1945. But coming back in, we have atomic pop culture. We have a lot of areas for kids too. Little Albert's Lab, so very engaging, fun, interactive science activities. My 2 little boys love that, and the airplanes, that's the best. And then nuclear energy, nuclear medicine, uranium mining, everything that is very relevant to New Mexico and where we are here in the United States as well.
And when we drove up, we noticed there was a tractor trailer, semi-truck out front.
That is actually, it's just one of the things that we do here at the museum. We rent our facility space.
Oh, okay.
So they're renting our parking lot to have some things to where people can come on instead of going on the base to see some of their technology. But we do weddings here. We do events and meetings. So people can rent the space and bring their organizations into our museum.
Well, Jennifer, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you taking the time to do this short interview. So this is Toby Eunice for Shelley Carney and A Gypsy's Kiss. We had a wonderful day here at the museum, and we strongly recommend that should you find yourself in Albuquerque, this is one of the places that you want to visit. The exhibits are so different from museums of any other kind. I think you'll just be fascinated with the technology and how far it's evolved from the time it was first experimented with in the early 1900s through the World War, of course, and into the present. And there is some indication of what's going to happen in the future. And it balances science with history, and we strongly recommend that you come to visit. So again, this is Toby Eunice with Shelley Carney for A Gypsy's Kiss. Thanks for joining us today.